Coming up on a loaded Daily Clone, Matt Campbell provides injury updates. He also talks about his friend Mike Gundy being fired at Oklahoma State. And now we've got the Big 12 men's basketball schedule. All of that after a word from a few of our sponsors.
Looking for a good time? Thought so. Whiskey River is just the place. We've got the booze, the food, the vibe, and the amazing rooftop patio. The only thing missing is you. Whiskey River.
The Neil Diamond musical, A Beautiful Noise, the uplifting true story, featuring all the songs you love from his Grammy Award-winning career. October 21st through 26th at Des Moines Civic Center. On sale at dmpa.org.
Hello and welcome into the Northwest Bank Studios for the Daily Clone here on a Tuesday, presented by Whiskey River. I don't know if you've looked at the slate for Saturday's college football games. It's incredible. If you're not going to be at Jack Trice Stadium, go to Whiskey River in either Ankeny or Ames, eat some good food, drink some cold beer, and watch a lot of football. The bye week is now over for the Cyclones, and the hottest topic today was injuries. Matt Campbell says that Aiden Flora, Gabe Burkle, Carson Willock are all going to be good to go on Saturday. However, Kyle Konrardy will not be. Campbell called his leg strain week to week, but not a long-term deal. Attention now turns to freshman walk-on Chase Smith. Campbell has confidence in the third-string kicker.
Chase has been, he's kicked already a bunch this year. So, I think he's had he's kicked off 2 games, right? Didn't he kick off the whole South Dakota game? He kicked off the whole game last week, kicked off against Iowa. And then, he's been the point scorer and some extra points. So got a lot of confidence in him. And again, he's done a great job when his numbers gotten called and really been a great surprise for us. I thought he had a great fall camp. So have a lot of confidence in him.
We've all seen it. Konrardy has the range to hit a 63-yarder, but when he's not out there, it affects the play calling.
It does a lot, and especially you get to that area of the field where you feel like you're in Kyle's range, and there's a part of it like, what can we do to advance the football? I don't always want to take the ball out of Rocco's hands either, because we're better when the ball's in that guy's hands and he could go make plays. So it gives you flexibility when you have a guy like Kyle that's confident from anywhere. When you cross the 50-yard line, you don't have to do too much, even though it's not necessarily the most fun play call at times, but when you have a guy like that, it allows you to put your team in the best spot to be successful and allow your guys that are really talented to win you football games. And sometimes, just kind of like the question earlier, like, you don't have to overthink it at times and let your guys do what they do well.
There's some pretty significant Big 12 news out of Stillwater. Oklahoma State fires longtime legendary head coach Mike Gundy following the Cowboys' loss to Tulsa. Matt Campbell reacts to the news about his friend.
We're just in such a crazy time. It's obviously disappointing, and you think the world of what he's been about. Obviously, what he did at Oklahoma State was exceptional and probably be really hard to replicate. And unfortunately, we live in a world where the value of that sometimes is short-lived. And we're quick to forget how powerful and how impactful he really was on that community. So, I think the world of Coach Gundy and just really grateful for everything he's done for me, for sure.
I just had to flip the camera around to get Hilton Coliseum in the background because we've got our Big 12 men's basketball schedule. Let's go. The Cyclones open up the conference season with West Virginia on Friday, January 2nd. That starts off a pretty soft home slate in January that includes Oklahoma State, UCF, and Colorado. The toughest tests in January will be at KU on the 13th, at Baylor the 7th, and on the road against Cincy on the 17th. February is where it gets fun. At K-State, home against Baylor, at TCU, KU on a Saturday in Hilton. 2 days later, Houston comes to town, then a road trip out to BYU and Utah. They come home against Texas Tech on a Saturday, then head out to Arizona for revenge on Caleb Love before wrapping up with Arizona State on Senior Day. That final stretch is tough, really tough, but it's going to be incredible. Cyclone Fanatics' Jackson Pence provides his thoughts on the schedule.
What's up, Fanatics? It's Jackson Pence here to give you my thoughts on Iowa State men's basketball's Big 12 schedule release that just came out this afternoon. At first look, this is a pretty tough Big 12 schedule for the Cyclones. They'll get to play Baylor, Kansas, Oklahoma State twice, both home and away this year, really early in the Big 12 schedule. But their road games are just road games only are brutal this year. They've got to go to Cincinnati, Kansas State, TCU, BYU, and Utah, while their home-only games are West Virginia, Houston, Texas Tech, Arizona State, and Colorado. The key stretch of games I'm looking at for the Cyclones is February 14th through March 7th, so about the middle of the season to the end. They'll play as good of a stretch as anyone in the Big 12 is going to play. They'll play Kansas and Houston for back-to-back Big 12 home games, Houston being Big Monday, and then they will head to Utah for big games against BYU and Utah. They'll come home for a one-game stint against Texas Tech, which will be a huge game at Hilton Coliseum, and then they'll head to Arizona for the second big Monday game of the season, hoping to get revenge after Caleb Love's half-court shot to beat the Cyclones last year in overtime. And then they'll finish the season with Arizona State at home for senior night. But overall, this is a really good schedule for Iowa State. For us fans, this is something we live for. This is going to be an awesome home schedule for all you fans to get out to the Hilton Coliseum this year. But I'm really excited for Big 12 basketball to start, and I can't wait to be back at Hilton Coliseum this fall.
If you look at that schedule and don't have adrenaline pumping through your veins, there's something wrong with you. I cannot wait for basketball season, but we're not pushing football season aside yet. The Cyclones are 4-0. They play a whiteout right here in Ames on Saturday night against an undefeated Arizona team. We'll get you up to game day right here on the Daily Clone. Thanks for supporting us right here in the Northwest Bank Studios.